Hello everybody, my name is, well, you really don't care what my name is, and today I'm going to, well, if you saw the title of the video, then you know what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to see which one is truly better, Pokemon or Digimon. The TV series, the very first ones for both sides. I'm not going to focus on the popularity, the merchandise sell, because that would be unfair for Digimon, because obviously Pokemon wins. So, let's start off first with the story between, for Pokemon and Digimon. So Pokemon focuses on this kid named Ash who travels around the world trying to become a Pokemon master. And when he first started off, you can see him as an underdog because in the town he's from, everybody loves his rival Gary, who's the grandson of the professor who a lot of people look up to. And when you see Gary, you see him as an asshole. And he really is an asshole. I mean, he looks down on Ash, he thinks he's better, and he has his own little cheerleading squad, and, he's very snobby, and I really didn't like him much. So that's why I always rooted for Ash, because he was the underdog, and he had to, overcome a lot of challenges during his travel. Along the way, he meets up with other trainers like Misty and Brock, and he becomes friends with them, and they travel around encountering a lot of dangers, a lot of obstacles and challenges as well. And it's not a bad story. I mean, granted, I did find some of the dialogue to be dumb, especially how they had the Pokemon repeat their names, but it's still not a bad story. I actually didn't mind when it first appeared. It wasn't until they had so many sequel series with the main character always being this kid and the story always being the same thing. So it does get tiresome after a while. But for the first series, it wasn't bad. I always rooted for Ash. I wanted to see him succeed, and despite everything he goes through, he learns a lesson every single time, and he even helps a lot of Pokemon, and those Pokemon eventually join up with him. It's there are a lot of touching moments, and there are moments where you actually feel sad, and you're also hooked. You keep wondering what's gonna happen, what Pokemon Ash is gonna capture, who is he going up against? Is he gonna beat the next gym leader that he goes up against? It's not a bad story, but we have Digimon, whose story is a little different from Pokemon. So these kids are sucked into this world called the digital world, where they encounter these Digimon that are, they actually are friends with them. The Digimon know these kids, but the kids don't know who these Digimon are, despite the fact that the Digimon know them. And they join them on their journey to try to find their way home, and along the way they encounter evil Digimon that try to destroy them and try to take over not only both the digital world, but the human world as well. And I actually like this story a little better than Pokemon, because in this one, we get a lot of stuff that we are trying to figure out from this series, at least the story, and they keep you hooked on it. They keep you hooked on what's going to happen next, and, the kids, like in Pokemon, they do learn some lessons, and they do gain some experience, and they become better, than they were before. And we also get to learn more about the Digimon, at least how they know the kids, how there's a connection between the two, and how, how there used to be some original Digidestined kids. That's what they call the kid, Digidestined. How there are supposed to be some original kids that actually defeated these villains, and now these kids are trying to defeat them as well. So it's not a bad story, but despite its plot holes, yeah, there are plot holes for this story, but I actually think it's a little better because for me, this story, each one of these episodes that they have, it doesn't end on a good note, at least not all the time. In Pokemon, it always ends the same way, over and over again. It ends with a good way, and at first, it's not bad, but after a while, it gets very, very annoying. And with the series continuing, I mean, you kind of lose interest in the show then. And the first one, not really, but yeah, I mean, I like the one with Digimon because it's a much more interesting story. It's got, you know, got a good backstory as well, despite some of its plot holes. And I think one of the other things I liked about it is how, these kids have to go up against these Digimon to try to destroy them, try to actually kill them. And Pokemon, the villains there, all they want to do is just capture the Pokemon to try to take over the world. That's it. Nothing about killing, nothing about harming these kids. That's pretty much it. So, point goes to Digimon. Next, we get to the side characters, or at least the side characters, or secondary characters, whatever. So, let's go with Pokemon first. We got Misty and Brock. I would mention the other characters as well, but I really don't remember much about any of them. I mean, we got the many Nurse Joys, the many Officer Jennies. We got the Professor Oak, and the professors are all named after trees. And we also have Gary, which I already explained, he's pretty much an asshole. So, yeah, I didn't mind Gary because I thought he would be a good, character for Ash to go up against. And yes, after a while, he does become a better person, but I still didn't like him much because he was still an asshole and didn't treat Ash with a lot of respect. So, I didn't like that much. Misty and Brock, I actually like these two characters that help Ash a lot because Misty, she travels with Ash only because she wanted him to pay for destroying her bike. But, she's still a good character. After a while, you can see she does want to help Ash succeed. She wants to help him achieve his dream. And he even helps her as well when it comes to her dealing with some problems. Even trying to achieve her dream as well. Brock, the same thing. I liked him too. He first started off as the first gym leader for Ash to go up against. And you see, after a while, he's not actually a bad person. He's trying to live up the reputation of his father's gym. He's trying to also be a good big brother. Also trying to help. Also wants to follow his dream as well and to becoming a Pokemon breeder. Yeah, that does sound a little weird, doesn't it? Yeah. But, each one of these two characters have their own episode as well. And they go through a lot of challenges and obstacles like Ash. Even helping him go up against Team Rocket that, well, in the beginning, I actually liked them as the villains. I mean, they were pretty cool villains. Especially that, that model of theirs. I forgot what it was, but damn it, it was so catchy and I liked it a lot. Meowth, not bad either, but I did find him a little annoying. I get why they chose Jesse and James, kind of like the criminals, yeah, funny. But I liked how they were a very serious threat towards Ash and his friends, trying to capture Pokemon and trying to deliver Pikachu to their boss, Giovanni, who is the main villain in my view in the first series. But it's a shame we never got to see him much, at least doing some evil things. I mean, in the Pokemon movie, the very first movie they made, we do see him as a dangerous threat, but that's it. We don't get to see him anymore, and that sucks, because I think this guy could have been a great villain if done correctly. And unfortunately, they didn't, especially with Team Rocket, who after a while became a bunch of jokes. And I did not like that at all. They just made them into the comedy relief. But in Digimon, we have some pretty cool villains. I mean, we got villains that are very memorable and characters that are memorable as well. We got Devimon, we got Edamon, Myotismon, the Dark Masters, all pretty cool villains. I especially like Myotismon because he was such a serious threat to these kids. And each time, it looked like they were going to beat him, but he just finds a way to come back. And he's come back almost like 2 more times, all in different forms, and becoming very, very dangerous. So, as far as the villains is concerned, I think Digimon did a great job with the villains. What about the characters as well? Now, I'm not going to add Ash, the Tai into this, because to me, he's the main character. And they do focus a lot of episodes on him. So, yeah, I guess we consider him the main character. And so, I guess the other characters I'm going to talk about here for Digimon are the other Digidestined kid. We got Matt, we got Sora, we got Izzy, we got Mimi, we got Joe, TK, and Kari. their Digimon partners. We got Gabumon, Biyomon, Tentomon, Palmon, Gomamon, Patamon, and Garamon. Yeah, their last three letters of their names all end with Mon. You might find that annoying, but after you hear the dialogue from Pokemon, you'll be okay with it. So I actually like all these characters as well because each one of them has to go through so many challenges and obstacles during their travels, and they each have their own episodes where they go through all these challenges. I mean, for example, I think one good example I can use is Sora because when her friends got separated, she was trying to bring them all together, trying to help them, trying to also have them not give up and trying to keep them safe. All the while trying to get them all together, but she doesn't reunite with them because she's dealing with some problems of her own. She's trying to find out why her crest that all the kids have, including herself, can't be activated. Because all of them have been able to activate their own crest, but she hasn't been able to do that, and she hasn't been able to figure out why hers, which is the crest of love, she can't seem to make it work. And we see more of a background to her. We find out about the problems between her and her mother, how her mother didn't want her to go to a soccer tournament because she was hurt. And Sora was so upset she went anyways. And Sora realizes that after in the series, she realizes that the reason her mother did that is because her mother loves her. She wanted to keep her safe. And Sora, is able to overcome her doubts about unable to activate her crest. And thanks to her Digimon Biyomon, she was able to get her to Digivolve to the next level to help him against Myotismon. So that was a good way to do that for the show. In Pokemon, I will admit some of the characters did well as well. Brock, he had to go through some episodes where he, I liked it a lot. I can't remember some of the episodes though. It's been years. It's been years since I've seen some of the episodes from Pokemon, but I do remember some of them. I also remember like Misty. She has to, try to prove to her older sisters that she can be a great trainer, that she can be a great gym leader. But her sisters, they treat her like a little kid, and she doesn't like that. She left to try to prove that she is not a little kid, and she does eventually show that she isn't a little kid and she can be a great trainer. But for me, the characters in Digimon were a little better. Mostly the villains, mostly because of the characters, and because there were some sad moments as well from Digimon. Because there were characters that you liked that did end up being killed off. Pokemon, there was no characters that get killed off, which is not that's fine, but it's because it's a kid show. But still, I mean, Digimon, man, they take it to a whole new level, and I like that a lot. So again, I'm giving the point to Digimon. They did a good job with the characters. Now we get to the main characters, and this is actually going to be the last one because, well, to be honest, I think it's pretty obvious with the last 2 points going to Digimon that they're going to win, but let's see if the main character from Pokemon can actually do better than the main character from Digimon. So let's start off with Ash from Pokemon. Like I said, he was considered the underdog, which I like a lot, and how he had to go through so much obstacles. Mostly, the first obstacle he had to go through was with Pikachu, his sidekick, who, Pikachu did not like Ash, did not want to be his trainer, and I can't blame Pikachu because Ash was kind of being a little hot-headed around Pikachu. Even though he did try to get Pikachu to like him and try to be his friend, but Pikachu did not want any of it. And it wasn't until he got attacked by a bunch of sparrows that, that's when he realized he may need some help. And Ash comes in to help save Pikachu. And he's defending Pikachu. He's trying to get away from these sparrows while also protecting Pikachu from these Pokemon that are attacking him, just pecking him. And Pikachu sees this, and he sees that this guy really does care about me, and maybe I should start trusting him. And he does. He does save Ash, and he's able to take out all the sparrows. It's a pretty touching moment there. Another good example about Ash is how he and his Pokemon were stuck in a snowstorm, and they all huddled up together to try to keep warm, and they all stayed by his side. And that's a very touching moment. I like that. It's his Pokemon to me, and to a lot of people, Pokemon are considered pets, but when you see the series, you see that they're more than just pets. They're friends. They want to stay by his side and help him out. And man, this kid also goes through a lot of sad moments, especially when he has to release his Pokemon that they wanted to try to get stronger, or try to or find a mate, or even wants to become something more. And that's what I like. It's a sad moment for Ash because he has to give them up, and it's not always easy. And but he still does that. And he also has to overcome so many other obstacles. I mean, he's not invincible. He does lose to a lot of battles and even against gym leaders, but he doesn't give up. He still struggles to get stronger and better, and that's what I liked about him when he first started off the series. But Digimon has a pretty good main character as well. I mean, Tai to me is a pretty cool character also. He's the main character. He also looks out for his friends. At first, that's not what we see. It isn't until later on, as with everything he and his friends go through, he starts to become much more mature, becomes a better leader, and looks out for his friends. But there are times when he can be a little overconfident and confident. In fact, there's actually a few good episodes that a friend of mine actually sent me to talk over. But I'm glad he sent them because those are a good example about what makes Tai a great leader. One of them is where he and his friends, they receive a message from a Digimon that was locked up by the evil Edamon, who was pretty much an Elvis kind of guy. And so they go to save this Digimon, but they have to go through all these obstacles. One of them is this electric fence that has a weak spot where you can just phase through and it won't kill you. Tai, he gets a little overconfident and cocky, and when one of his friends gets captured, they encounter this fence. He thinks that the same spot where they went through the first time will work on this fence, but it doesn't. And it isn't until Izzy, his friend tells him that he could die, that he could get killed if he chooses the wrong place to go through in this fence, then he's dead. And that causes Tai's confidence to get shattered. His overconfidence and courage gets shattered. It gets taken away when he realizes that, holy shit, I could die. My God. And you really see that it does affect him. And it isn't until the next episode where he encounters this same fence and he has to find a way through it because his friend is on the other side. Thanks to some encouraging words from his Digimon Agumon, who, unlike Pikachu, is very loyal. He doesn't turn his back on him or even electrocutes him or, hurts him. And he helps his friend. He helps Tai find his courage, get his confidence back. And because of that, Tai was not only able to find the fence, the weak point, to go through and save his friend, but was able to activate his crest so his Digimon could Digivolve to the next level, and they were able to defeat Edamon. And here's another good example that I liked about Tai is that, that makes him a better character and makes him truly a good leader to the team. And that's when he and Agumon are sent through this portal and find themselves back home, back to the human world, where they find out that time hasn't really moved. So what felt like months for them in the digital world was actually maybe a second or two in the human world. There, they find out that some Digimon have found their way into the human world and are causing trouble. And Tai also finds out that his friends are in trouble, and they warn him not to come back, or just something like that. And Tai, he could stay home, he could forget about his friends, even after they defeat the Digimon in the human world, and after Agumon is sent back, after being stuck through the same portal, Tai, he could have stayed. He could have just decided to stay home with his sister and just forget about his friends, but he doesn't. He decides to go back to the digital world, go find his friends, and bring them home. And it's a really sad moment between him and his sister because she wants him to stay. She doesn't want him to go, but he has to, and she understands. And he does go back and he's able to reunite with his friends and bring him back together. So, you know, man, it's tough for me to decide because I love both characters from both series. But I'm gonna have to go with Tai in my view, and here's the reason why. In Pokemon, Ash, when he first started, I liked him, but after a while, his characters just got boring. He got bland, and he's not good anymore. In Digimon, Tai in the first series, I liked him a lot, and in the second series, which was a sequel to the first one, he actually passes on the torch to the next Digidestined kids, the new ones that are now trying to help save both their worlds. And Tai, he passes on the torch to the next kid, Davis, who, would later become a good leader to the team. Or at least somewhere between there. But he does pass that torch on. And that's what I like, because Tai knows that he and his friends, they got too much going on, and, maybe it is time to pass on the torch to the next generation to help save the world. In Pokemon, Ash never passes the torch on to anything. It's always been about him. The focus has always been about him. Now, I don't mind that at all, but it's just, my God, it just gets so boring and annoying, and you just don't like him anymore. Not even Pikachu, even though he's cute and fuzzy and you want to hug him, but you don't because you don't want to get shocked. But yeah, with Ash, he doesn't pass any kind of torch on. It's always been focused about him, and it gets boring. With Tai, it's different. He is a much better character, and he overcomes more and he goes through a lot of stuff. But Ash, he does go through more, but he just gets so boring because it's always with him. So that's it, guys. If you have a different opinion about this, leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. I'll be here next time to give you more love and more entertainment. Take care. See y'all next time. And happy birthday to my friend. I hope you like this video. Oh, my throat.